Ever wonder how the guy at the forefront of the AI revolution, like, actually thinks? We're talking about Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI,
Right.
the brains behind ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into something you don't usually see with these kinds of people.
Yeah, yeah.
How he uses the surprisingly, like, low-tech tool of writing
Right.
to navigate the world of AI.
Yeah, it's fascinating because everybody is so laser focused on the tech.
Right.
OpenAI's technology, the latest algorithm, what's it disrupting,
Right.
all that. And these interviews give us this unique, like, personal insight
Yeah.
into how Altman thinks.
Yeah, it's like peeking behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And get this, he's all about spiral notebooks, not just, jotting down notes. He's ripping out pages, comparing them, letting them pile up. It's
Yeah.
organized chaos. What do you think? Is that just a quirk, or is there a method to the madness?
I think it's very deliberate, actually. Altman really emphasizes externalizing thought.
He's said that getting ideas out of your head and onto paper, it lets you see them more objectively, more clearly.
Right.
So he's creating this physical representation of his thoughts.
Yeah.
And then interacting with them, rearranging them, editing them, even discarding them.
Interesting.
Kind of like he would with lines of code almost.
So it's almost like he's having a conversation with himself,
Yeah.
but on paper.
Exactly. And it makes that process of iteration so much more tangible. He talks about how his AGI plan,
Right.
his roadmap for artificial general intelligence, this almost delusional idea at the start,
Right.
this pipe dream, but writing it down, wrestling with it on paper,
Yeah.
that made it real,
Right.
actionable. And what's interesting is each version of the plan got shorter, tighter, as his thinking clarified.
I feel like there's a lesson there for, like, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many times have we had this big, hairy, audacious goal?
And felt totally overwhelmed. It's like that,
It's like, how do you eat an elephant?
exactly, one bite at a time.
Right.
And for Altman, writing is that bite-sized approach.
Yeah.
Even for something as complex as AGI.
Absolutely. And it reminds me of something he said about, back when he ran Y Combinator.
Right.
Evaluating all those startups. He used writing as a litmus test.
Wait, really? You're saying, like, the way someone wrote their application
Yeah.
could make or break their chances?
It was a surprisingly strong indicator. He noticed that entrepreneurs who could articulate their vision clearly, concisely,
Okay.
often had a better grasp of their business overall.
Interesting.
And it wasn't about, like, perfect grammar,
Yeah.
flowery language.
Right.
It was the thought process behind it. That ability to structure your thoughts, communicate them effectively.
So that makes sense in the context of, like, you're pitching an idea.
Right.
Does that mean that clear writing
Well,
equals a clear thinking mind, like, in general?
that's exactly what he seems to be suggesting. It wasn't about being Hemingway.
Yeah.
It was about clarity of thought that translated into a well-run company.
Wow.
He saw a direct correlation.
That's interesting because it makes you wonder, like, about the flip side of that.
Mhm.
If good writing is a sign of clear thinking,
Yeah.
could AI help us become better thinkers?
That is one of the most fascinating parts of Altman's perspective.
Okay.
He sees AI as this incredible tool for, like, augmenting human intelligence,
Okay.
not replacing it.
Right.
He even compares it to the invention of the calculator.
Okay, break that down for me.
So calculators didn't make mathematicians obsolete, right?
Right.
They freed us from doing these tedious calculations so we could tackle more complex problems. And Altman thinks AI can do the same thing for writing, for thinking.
So instead of being, like, afraid of AI replacing writers, we should be looking at how it can help us push our own creative boundaries.
Exactly. He talks about using ChatGPT as, like, a super thesaurus. Like, he's not afraid to admit that he'll hit a wall with a sentence.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll ask ChatGPT, give me 5 ways to say this differently.
So it's like having this, like, all-knowing editor on call 247 ready to, like, brainstorm with you.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of, like, how that might work in practice?
Yeah, so imagine Altman is writing about AI's potential to speed up scientific discovery.
Okay.
right? And he's stuck on this one sentence. He wants to convey the scale of this change.
Yeah.
He might ask ChatGPT something like, give me 5 ways to express that AI could lead to these huge breakthroughs that would have taken humans like decades, maybe even centuries, to achieve on their own. Right?
That's amazing.
And then he can pick his favorite or use those as a starting point for something even better.
Right. It's like this,
It's about leveraging the AI.
yeah, to push past those moments of, like, writer's block,
Right.
you know?
Totally. To unlock these new pathways in your thinking.
It's like having a sparring partner for your brain.
Yeah.
The more you spar,
Yeah.
the sharper you become. But
Right.
hold on.
Yeah.
If everybody has access to these AI tools, won't everything just start sounding the same?
That's a really valid concern. And Altman actually addresses it head on.
Okay.
He thinks in this age of AI content, the ability to curate, to actually tell what's good,
Right.
that becomes even more valuable.
It's like this flood of information is making good taste even more important in a way.
Yeah. In the past, you needed the skills to create. Now you need critical thinking to navigate this sea of AI stuff.
Exactly. And it's interesting because Altman himself, like, he wasn't a naturally gifted writer. He had to work at it, study the greats, hone his craft.
Yeah.
And there's a powerful message there.
Absolutely.
Like, these skills, they aren't innate. They're developed
Yeah.
through practice.
You got to be willing to learn.
And AI can be a tool in that process.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole thing so exciting. You know, we're on the edge of this
Yeah.
massive shift in how we think, how we learn, how we create.
Totally.
It's up to us to, decide how we navigate it.
It's almost like AI is forcing us to answer this, like, really deep question. What does it even mean to be creative?
Right.
When machines can, like, pump out content.
It's the question everybody's wrestling with right now. And Altman doesn't shy away from it. He says, yeah, there's this anxiety around AI,
Right.
but ultimately it's going to push us to define what makes us human.
So if AI can write a decent blog post or even
Yeah.
like a piece of fiction,
Yeah.
what makes the truly great stuff stand out? What will make people still want
Right. What's that?
human touch?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
And Altman says it's the human experience that's woven into the words.
Okay.
It's the unique perspective, the vulnerability, the emotion that connects with readers on that deeper level.
It's like, it makes me think of those books that stay with you forever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It's not just the plot or the characters. It's
Yeah.
like something deeper.
Right.
Something that, like, speaks to the human condition. Can AI ever replicate that?
That is the million-dollar question. It might be able to, like, mimic the style, the
Right.
structure,
Right.
but can it grasp the nuances of human experience and emotion?
Yeah.
That makes writing really great. I don't know.
It's like the difference between a technically perfect photograph
Yes.
versus one that, like, captures a real moment.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of the fear around AI kind of misses the point.
Oh,
It's like, instead of being scared, we should take this as a chance to push our own creative limits,
yeah, I love that. So it's not man versus machine. It's like,
Yeah.
how do we collaborate? How do we use these tools
Yeah.
to make ourselves better?
Exactly. And what's funny? Altman used to think he needed, like, the perfect setup to write.
Oh, like the right coffee shop, the right music.
Oh, yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
But he realized with, life and technology and everything, those perfect moments are rare.
Right.
So now he'll take any uninterrupted time he can get, even if it's, 10 minutes in the back of a cab.
That is so relatable.
Yeah.
We all have those little pockets of time, right?
Yeah.
Where we're, like, scrolling on our phones.
Right.
What if we thought of those as little chances to be creative?
Exactly. It's all about the perspective shift. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just make use of what you've got.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Sam Altman's world, I know I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. Like, AI could really change
Yeah.
not just writing, but, like, how we think, how we create. It's
Yeah.
exciting, but kind of scary too.
It's a brave new world out there, that's for sure. But there's one thing I hope people take away from this. It's don't be afraid to just try it out,
Yeah.
Play with these tools, see how they can help you find your voice.
Yeah.
You might be surprised.
Such a good point. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and writing. Until next time, happy writing, everyone.